Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. This is the segment where we talk about all the cigars that we have been smoking. This segment is sponsored by Debonair Cigars. Please visit stogiegeeks.com/Debonair for a list of retailers, or you can just call up Mr. Stogie Santa at Mr. J's Havana Smoke Shop and order them up, as they are a proud retailer of Debonair Cigars. Mr. Phil Zangi, the founder of Debonair Cigars, who are appearing at the New Jersey Cigar Festival, njcigarfestival.com, to find out more. That will be happening on May 4th. Before we delve into the Stogies of the Week, how's everyone's cigar, the Sake Bomb from 601 La Bamba?
Doing very sake. It is very, very good. I was just mentioning while we're off the air waiting to come back on, if you want a full-body, full-flavor cigar, the way, as to steal your words of endearment, Coop, to get something that delivers full body, full strength, right on the nose. Not very much transitional, but that's not even important.
Right.
It really is. I've never this is one of the few cigars, not to mention others, that it doesn't assault the palate being that strong. It really doesn't. It's a subtle. It's really well balanced. It's a very well balanced cigar. That's the best way I'm going to put it.
But don't get me wrong, you're not going to want to have this first thing in the morning without having something.
No. Not that.
Yeah.
No. And you know what's funny? When he said the Bunker Buster, I would think that'd be the cigar that would knock you out just by the name.
Me too.
Yep.
Me too.
But anyway, this is going to be a major hit.
And we got to really give props to Anthony Jimenez, who's the creative director over at Espinosa Cigars. He really went through the effort to get us these cigars as well as cigars for our giveaway later on. So big props to Anthony. He's a good friend.
The cigar that we smoked tonight, it just came off the truck today.
ROT.
Not one construction issue.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's solid. I mean, this thing's burning solid.
Look at this. I'm telling you, this as I go farther down,
it's picking up. I finished mine already, and I had to eat a piece of pizza in between segments.
What's that tell you?
Just another couple of interesting things to note. The information that we've gotten on some upcoming cigars. One of the ones we wanted to mention was the Oliva Series V number 4. This is the Corona size.
Yes.
Will be released from Oliva Cigars, and that will be a regular production cigar, from what I'm told.
Yes, that's true.
I'm very excited about that, as we've smoked that on a show before.
That is an unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think that's the best representation of that line. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah. And hope for the next show, I actually have the Oliva V series, the nub in the Oliva V blend. I haven't smoked it yet, but I picked up a couple of those. They came in a sampler pack with some different blends.
Studio tobacco release.
I think it's a studio tobacco release. Yeah.
Yep.
That was is supposed to be really good, so I'm excited to smoke that. So.
Yeah, this thing. Yep.
And Federal Cigar has an Oliva release coming up.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that one.
Oh, you smoked it?
I have. It's one of my smokes of the week.
Excellent.
Yep.
And Roma Craft Formorian recently released at the DC Tweet Up.
Yes, and I think we may have talked about that when Skip was on the show. So just so you know, very simple. It's the Cro-Magnon line, and the broadleaf wrapper has been replaced with Candela. So that was just a DC Tweet Up one-time thing. He's done 2 years in a row. It's a very special cigar. And if take any notion you have of Candela and put it aside. It redefines a Candela cigar.
There's only one Candela I like.
We might have to smoke that one. You know, there may be a little package coming you guys' way.
Oh.
Cool. I may have some goodies.
Wait a minute.
I may carry those.
Santa Coop.
So.
Coop, we love your little package.
Yeah.
Are you Irish?
My buddy Jason, he went up to the Tweet Up and he remembered his buddy. So he took care of us here.
Yeah, I keep in contact on Facebook with him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is.
Good guy.
It's refreshing. It really is.
Really is.
Isn't it? It's truly.
You meet so many people out there in this community, and they're friends, and you may never even have shook their hand face to face. It's amazing.
No. Yep.
So, Will, why don't you lead us off?
Well, I guess since we kind of talked about it, I'll kind of go right into it. I smoked Federal cigars 93rd anniversary cigar, which this year they went to Oliva to do. We actually were honored to break the news on this cigar for the first time, and we actually had the first review of it. So on Cigar Coop. So thanks to the guys at Federal on that. This year, so if folks know, for the past few years, Federal Cigar they've worked with a manufacturer or two, sometimes more than that, and they've done a shop exclusive around the store's anniversary. And typically, it's been a blend that's been done for the store. This year, it was a little different. I guess what happened is there were some folks around Tabacalera, Oliva, and they came across a bunch of cigars that were sitting in the aging room, and they basically were just stored in quarter wheels, and they were originally slated to be a master blend. So I think folks may be familiar with the Oliva Master Blend series. For whatever reason, they didn't put them in there. They didn't do the master blend, and they sat in the aging room from like the 2003 2004 time frame. So what I've understood is these cigars have been aging for over 10 years, and they have tobaccos that are even older. So one thing I could say is that Federal Cigar, when it comes to their anniversary cigars, they don't pull punches. They get it right. This cigar is an aged cigar that still has a ton of flavor. It's got tons of complexity. It's got notes of coffee. It's got some chocolate. It's got that natural tobacco and earth. Just so folks know what the blend is, it's Ecuadorian sun-grown, and it's a Nicaraguan binder and filler in a 6x52 box press torpedo. It's not, with the age, it's not going to be a very strong cigar, so it's about medium strengths. The flavors are in the medium to medium plus range. I love this cigar. I love this cigar. It's one of the best Oliva cigars I've had in a while. It's a special cigar. It's Chuck Norris quality. If you really want to taste aged tobacco that hasn't kind of pittered out, this is the cigar. And they're not a paid sponsor. This is just a cigar I got and I really liked.
And this is the 93rd anniversary reserve number 2.
Right, yep.
From
And they
Federal
actually
Cigar.
put the Federal Cigar logo on it because I guess they didn't want to wait for packaging. But folks remember the 92nd was that special version of the Lonsdale EPC short run.
Yeah.
And then they did a My Father Le Bijou in a Connecticut, I think, the year before.
Which was
So they-
awesome.
Oh, that's another really special
Who gave
cigar.
me
So
that? Was that you?
Yeah.
Somebody gave me that.
No, it was Tim. Tim Margarini
Tim.
got
Oh.
us a few of those. Yeah.
So you never know what could be heading up your way too, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But this is I managed to get my hands on some of these over the weekend. So this I'm really curious on if you really like Oliva tobacco and stuff. This really shows what these guys can do. One thing I was talking to Rick Gadway about, and I know I'm taking a little time. He was saying that basically it's possible that when those cigars were rolled back in 2004, they smoked them and they didn't like them. So maybe something may have happened where they would just, instead of throwing them out, they just sat and someone went back and revisited it and said it was pretty good. So that may have been what happened why they didn't use it.
Oh, as you're lighting up your next cigar, Mark, I was talking with Pete. They're still available. Boxes of 10.
What is your next cigar, Mark?
Robusto's too?
No, just the Churchills.
Which one?
What'd you light up there, Mark?
La
Verite
Verite.
2009.
Oh,
The Churchills. Yep. I can still. I'm gonna order more of those.
it's a good cigar.
Go ahead, Mark.
I
was on my list.
I
so.
smoked a Roma Craft Cro-Magnon Anthropology. Sorry.
Yeah.
I actually smoked both the Cro-Magnon and the Aquitaine in this.
I did that. Well,
Anthropology.
that's one of mine right there. So go ahead.
The Cro-Magnon's a 5 3/4 by 46 Corona Gorda.
Excuse me.
It's Connecticut broadleaf Maduro, Cameroon binder, Nicaraguan filler. About $8. It's just another Vitola in the line of Cro-Magnon, right? But I really like what Roma Craft's got going on. I think in terms of newer boutiques that are out there, I really like Crown Heads. I really like these guys too. I think these guys are really are hitting a nail on the head. And in the past episodes, I had smoked the Knuckle Dragger Vitola in both the Cro-Magnon and the Aquitaine, and I like the Aquitaine better in that size.
Right.
In this size, I like the Cro-Magnon better.
I can't wait to smoke. I go ahead, but I smoked that one.
I truly thought the cigar was awesome. It was a chocolate bomb, right? All the whole way through. I thought it was fantastic. And the chocolate was like a milk chocolate. It was just really, really good. It had some nice spice and nice barnyard aroma. The construction was perfect. The perfect construction paired with the tremendous flavors made for a really great experience.
It was funny though.
I want to punch you right now.
No. Because I agree with everything you're saying. But you think about barnyard aroma, you would say, "What the hell would I want that for?" You know what I mean? But it's so true. It is so true.
I think, again, I'm just going to reiterate this. I think, objectively, I think the Cro-Magnon is best in this size. The Aquitaine, which is a little stronger blend, is a little better in the bigger
More of the
ring
halo,
gauge.
yep.
In that knuckle dragger size, I would definitely, without hesitation, say that this cigar is box worthy.
And these can be purchased from.
Mr. J.
It's
Savannah.
Havana.
And this is all of the Roma Craft line.
Yes, I'm telling you.
They have the whole line now,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Don't you? Yeah.
I've just
Excellent.
been building and building.
You can even buy femurs there if you
Yeah,
want.
if you want it. I know.
What's the size on the femur?
Let me see.
Gross.
It's about
Prison sex.
It's about
That's
this
what it
big.
is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll smoke it.
Like a 12 by.
Oh,
120.
whatever. It's,
Yeah.
I'll smoke it.
And the bottom line, Mark came in and he took that to task, and I smoked this one, and I agree with that assessment 100%. My next one is the Aquitaine line. I like a lot. I want to see the
Me
difference.
too.
Yeah. So what else have you been smoking, Stogie Santa?
Well, I did kind of a redo. Well, besides the, I did a little redo type of thing. I pulled up a Shock Añejo 77 from 2011, and 5.5 by 54. We know the wrapper and the binder on that. This cigar, with a couple of years of age on it, it really it's changed. In my opinion. First of all, from a medium plus to a dead-on medium, what I picked up the first there was that creaminess and a nice little tobacco sweetness and a little nuttiness to it. What I found, the spice has dissipated quite a bit. You get a little pepper on a little bit on the retrohale, but what I picked up, what I thought really amped up, was the toastiness on the cigar. I really enjoyed that. I couldn't believe, and the creaminess, the balance of this cigar. That's what I got in the third part. I got the toastiness, the creaminess on this, and again, the only time I got a hint of spice and pepper was on the retrohale. So if you want that spice and pepper on it, do it fresh and don't wait for it to age. I liked it being aged. I really did. I loved it. To me, it had more balance to it. So what you lost on the strength, I think it's just about medium now, strength-wise. The only thing on these cigars, it's not a downfall. It's not enough to say I wouldn't smoke it. Construction on a 77 out of all the Añejos I have issues with. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I got your disease on that. I don't know.
It's weird. I've smoked some of the Shock sizes that have had a perfect draw, and the ash will hold on for like half the cigar, and then the next half will hold on. So I only have to ash, twice on the cigar, and then I'll smoke other ones and get a little crooked burn issue.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
hear
worried
you.
about exactly. It's a little small touch
Yeah.
up. It's not enough to
I agree.
warrant
Yeah.
not to get uptight with it. But that toastiness, what you lost, in my opinion, what you lost in that toastiness is so prevalent. It's just so toasty and creamy. It's absolutely, needless to say, box worthy.
Yeah,
And
it's my
love it.
favorite
Love
size,
it,
and
love
it's
it.
one of those sizes. The reason I like it the best is you go back at different stages and smoke it, and you get a different experience.
Oh,
Change
absolutely.
with the age, and it's just marvelous.
It's one of those blends that ages very well.
Yeah, and like I said,
whatever
it
the
loses qualities that people like.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
that
No, I
spice, you
agree,
want
yeah.
that pepper up in front. I got it. You still get it, but I got everything, that pepper and spice, I got more in a retrohale than I did on a cigar when it was fresh. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I really like it. And the cigar, it's unfortunate. It only comes out a certain amount of times, and it gets crazy in prices. It can go for anywhere from $12 to $30. It's crazy.
I smoked an Alec Bradley Fine and Rare. This is the 2012 release, the Torpedo.
Yep.
And I wanted to see how these were doing, and I tell you what, this one was really good. A lot of dynamic flavors.
Come down tomorrow.
It mellowed out a bit, but but I really enjoy smoking it. I think when I first smoked it, there was a lot of very strong, prominent flavors, like pumpkin sweetness and all that stuff. A lot of that's kind of mellowed out, but you still get a little bit of that caramel. There's still a touch of spice, when you first light it up. But it's a very, very good smoke, and there's a lot of nice change up and subtle changes that it makes even still after a few years of age. So, are these really on sale?
You had that as an Oasis cigar at one point, right?
Yeah, when I first smoked it, I thought it was.
I thought the
pumpkin
11
sweetness.
was really good when it aged. The age didn't do very kindly to the
Yeah.
old 11s.
The reason I wanted to I think this one is aging much better than the 11s.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
It's definitely
11s
my
just
assessment.
seemed to age didn't do it kind.
yeah. I mean, I bought probably a little over a 5-pack of each, and I've been smoking fairly regularly, and the 12s are aging much, much better.
Okay.
Will, back to you.
I smoked. I know we've been talking about Rocky Patel for the past few weeks, but I decided to revisit the Rocky Patel Platinum. This time I revisited it in the Robusto. I had smoked a Toro I mentioned it on the show back in December, and I was actually pretty disappointed with it. I thought it had some burn issues. Thought it had some harshness. It was more of an angler at best. But this time around, the Robusto, for whatever reason, was much better. The flavors I thought were better defined. It's one of these cigars, we were just talking, it's not going to do a lot of flavor transitions, but you'll get a lot of that coffee, earth, black pepper. You get a little bit of this prune sweetness, which I thought was interesting. But it uses an Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper with Nicaraguan filler. And I smoked, like I said, actually it was a Robusto. More encouraging. Price point's high. So, I mean, that Robusto was $10 down here. I don't know if I can go higher than to try one, but it certainly is a cigar I'd say go ahead and try it. I think the Royale of the cigars he came out with last year is the better release. I'll still stand by that. But this cigar put me a little more at ease with the Platinum blend right now, where it's definitely worth. I'd encourage people to try it.
Mark Jr.
I was going to talk about a cigar that Coop and I both had on it, but I'll wait till we can talk about it together. So
Okay. Yep. I know which one it is.
Hey, we got the same cigars this week.
So this week, the long-awaited arrival of the Tatuaje Black Jars finally happened. So I went ahead and bought 2. But
Me too.
when I walked in, there was a box of Camacho Liberty 2011s that were just found in the back. Is that right?
Yeah, I just found them.
You just found them. Well, they were sitting on the counter.
Yeah, right. I pulled
Full
them up.
box. It's a really awesome looking box when they're full.
It is
yeah,
a
right?
great display.
So I grabbed 2 of them because when I opened them, they had the beginnings of plume on them, and they smelled
The smell.
just ridiculous. Like this tremendous cedar aroma that came off of it. Again, I grabbed 2 of them on the way out. Having already said that, the cedar, right? The cedar was really the prevalent flavor in this cigar.
No, wait. When I picked up my jars, I didn't see this box sitting on the counter.
Because you had to run away right quickly.
Other than the cedar, it had a nice leather, had a little bit of spice that came in the middle third, and a creaminess that developed a little later on in the stick. I thought the burn was impeccable, and that signature 1118 size. Really, I don't know if I've ever had one that didn't burn well. But
any
this one
size,
was
yeah.
perfect, right? Coop, I linked to your review when you reviewed this back in 2011, right?
Yeah, I
And I
wasn't a
think-
big fan of it.
And
back
you
in
said you were
2011.
not impressed, right? I
No,
think
and I smoked it back in 2011, and I actually read what you wrote, and I'm like, I have a couple more left, and I want to go revisit it. At that time, it just didn't do a lot for me. It just didn't wow me. But we just talked about it earlier. Maybe these things sitting in my humidor in those cedar boxes. I definitely want to go back and smoke it now.
do it because I thought this was very nice.
If you're saying that, then I
was,
take a lot into that. So absolutely.
Yeah,
My general rule of thumb with the Camacho Liberty series is only smoke them once they have plume on them.
Well, I'd say it was funny. So far, back to back, we've had the same cigars with Mark. and I. Now, I did it 2011, then I went back. It was funny. I wanted to see if Coop smoked it. We're kind of on the same page. I agree with the creaminess. I got the spice I got on the back end a little bit, but just very, very little bit. But I found cedar was too prevalent. It was too unbalanced for me. It really was. It took away the experience of that cigar.
Sometimes that'll
I
happen.
think that 2011 is not my favorite one of the line they put out. It's still it's a try one for sure. There's no doubt about that.
I tend to take them out of the coffins and store them without the
Yeah,
coffins.
it's just that cedar was.
It
I
picks
mean,
up
the
too much of
dry
the
draw
cedar.
just overwhelmed me. And then when I was that creaminess, there was like Mark was saying, it came out. It was really nice, and then boom, the cedar came back. And that's a great point. Maybe I'll take that out of the coffin
Yeah.
for like
I
3
do
or 4
with all mine.
days. Because again, there's a lot to be said. Of course, Mark is the ones with the plumes. I didn't have the plume on the two I smoked.
I find if
But-
you leave them in the coffins, they tend to develop a lot of plume more quickly. I don't know if there's some science behind that, but yeah, I like the 2004 Liberty that I smoked is definitely one of the
Because
ones that sticks out in my mind.
Hey,
You
the
know.
2012 is another one. Still not. I thought it was better than the 11, but when I was fresh out of the box, I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
gotta age.
changed.
The
That's
Liberties
changed.
got to age.
That's changed a lot better, a lot more for the plus side. Anyway, back to you, Paul.
Yeah, so Avo has come out with these 4 or 5 packs. I wish I actually had one to hold up. These little 4 or 5 packs of Robusto-sized cigars. You get a signature and different Avo blends in there. And one of them is the AU14.
Is that the test blend that
it's
they're
the-
doing, or
it's
not
the-
the test blend? It's like a new blend that they haven't released. I
Yeah,
should say.
it's batch number 024, I believe, is the one that I smoked. And it was really good. It has a very distinct flavor profile that is kind of like this melding of a caramel with kind of like a wood and cedar flavor. It's something I couldn't like put on my flavor wheel. It was almost like a mixture of the two kind of together, which was very interesting. It's I would say a medium-bodied cigar, medium in strength. Very good. Not a lot of change-ups. That same caramel cedar flavor persisted throughout the entire cigar. Didn't change up a whole lot, but was very enjoyable. I'm not sure what the the price point would be or what the blend is on this one. It's an experimental blend, but it was very good. It was very smooth. It burned fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. This is something I think I would take a fiver of to kind of mix it up in my smoking rotation. Something to smoke earlier in the morning to have with coffee. But it was very, very good. Again, it's a fiver.
Hey, Paul, there's a place I think on the website where an IAVO website where you can actually give them the feedback on that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll go do
Yeah,
that.
I'll remember to send it to you. But yeah, there's some place where you can actually give your feedback on that cigar.
Yeah, the flavor profile was pretty unique. So I encourage everyone to go try it and buy that little sampler pack that they have. I've enjoyed every cigar I've pulled out of that little sampler pack so far, and I'm still smoking my way through it. And it's a great way to try some of the different Avo blends. And like I said, I've enjoyed every single one of them. None of them in there are very, very strong, but they're all very, very good. None of them really have that really grassy component to them that may turn you off from some of the
I'll
Avo.
take one of
So
those.
lately, for whatever reason, I've just been a huge fan of the Avo blend. I've been smoking quite a few of them. I like the XO.
You get a lot of these.
That's just really good as well.
I got a
So
lot of everything that's in there.
And the 14s, the
that's fine,
Avo Limited
that's fine.
14s are about to hit the stores, I was told. Avo's birthday's Saturday, and usually they coincide it.
I'm sorry.
we're digging through Mark's box,
Look at this guy. Are you kidding me?
digging for vintage Cubans to smoke.
Oh God! I just go. Okay, wet spot
He
time.
landed a lunker.
What is it? Is that a Monte Cristo number 4?
No.
No, it's H. Upman Magnum 46.
Oh.
Look at this guy. He takes care of. I forgot to bring. One of the few times I don't bring sticks, and he hits me with this. Are you kidding me?
You forgot to
yeah.
bring sticks?
No,
You know what? I'm going to forget to bring sticks more often now.
The first time I ever did this. Oh my God.
We're just going to smoke on a Mark Jr.'s travel case from now on.
Oh,
So be it. I smoke
Oh.
out of your guys when you guys are around too. So
oh. wait
But
till-
Will, back to you.
I don't want to light it up.
yes, you do.
No, I don't.
All right. So I guess Mark Jr. and I both smoked this, so I'll kind of kick it off. I've been smoking a few of the Hoya de Nicaragua Cuatro Cincos, and those came out late last year. They're Nicaraguan puros that were done in a 6x54 box press Toro. It was basically meant to commemorate the company's 45 years in business. This cigar, I had smoked a few of them late last year. I smoked a few actually over the past few days. What I had.
Oh, dude.
It's a good cigar, but it doesn't have any wow factor in my opinion. It had some notes of coffee, natural tobacco, a little nut and citrus. It had an interesting pepper flavor that didn't really impress me either. At first, I thought maybe this cigar was young. I just think this is what it's gonna be, and it's in fact, the earlier ones I even had burn and draw issues. This one was fine, though. It's a try one. But if I look at what Hoya de Nicaragua has done in the last several years with some of their releases, the Dark Corojo and the CYB, this one just doesn't stack up to those. It's a price point's pretty high. It's $13 to $14. So, it was missing something, and I can't quite put my finger on what it was missing.
Mark's going to put a finger on that in about 2 seconds.
Good.
I don't say this often, but I thought this cigar sucked. Just going to be honest. The first time they came in, right, I didn't try one because I thought they smelled gross and they were soft.
That's when I had the burn issues.
Yeah, the first time you come in, go ahead. Go ahead.
Then they came back in, and Paul Joyle, who I respect, and I respect his opinion, told me to try one. He thought they were pretty good, so I did. I don't know. I don't get it. It had a muted flavors. It had a little bit of coffee and earth. Other than that, I didn't really pick up much. The burn on it was atrocious, like really, really bad. And I think it's a shame, to be honest with you. I don't like to be harsh with cigars like that because there's often room for people's interpretation. Although, if you're feeling like smoking in a Hoya de Nicaragua, reach for the Antaño or the Dark Corojo. It's just a better cigar.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
Because it was funny, when they first landed and they came in, we had limited boxes, and I went through you guys' assessment's got to be right on because the first one I had, it was just the construction was really difficult. And then now I said to myself, the second one I had, well, give it time. Now, Coop, you're saying time is not really doing...
Well, the construction issues were definitely better. I picked these up in Jacksonville, Florida, and took them back. And they weren't the ones I had were burning and drawing horrendous where it wasn't worth talking about yet. Whatever ones I got this time those problems seemed to go away. I didn't think it was a horrible cigar. I definitely think it was a disappointing cigar compared to what I've seen at a Hoya, and I don't think it's going to get any better.
No.
And Mark hit it on the head. Muted flavors. The flavors, and you say it, Stogie, saying it didn't know where it wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's okay. Can't always hit a home run.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's a beautiful looking cigar, too.
It is.
The banding is really nice on it.
The presentation on it, it's a great point. Okay, while we're doing points, I need some ice cubes.
I smoked a 1502, the Ruby, and this was sent to us by 1502, and I really liked it. I was smoking it while I was doing other things here in the studio earlier.
Thank you.
But it had a great flavor profile. It burned great. Had some great flavors. Really, really liked it. You got to cut both ends on the double perfecto. I thought that was kind of cool. And the construction was awesome. So I would say it's a 5 for sure. I'd want to smoke. I would definitely smoke more of them and probably update my assessment on those. Definitely has some great aging potential. It had a good amount of strength. And have you guys tried the 1502?
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, I'll tell you. Can I add 2 things on that? So first up, just a little breaking news. We have the blender owner of 1502 coming on the show May 1st. Enrique Sanchez.
Awesome.
He's confirmed. What I want to say about that Perfecto, the Perfectos are only available from the 1502 lounges, which there's very few of them. and I think they may bring them to events. So that's not a cigar. It's a special cigar.
Is that this one here,
I haven't
Coop,
smoked
that
in
I
the
have
Ruby
here?
Perfecto, but I've smoked the Emerald Perfecto, and that's a hell of a box
Is that
press
this,
Perfecto.
Coop?
Yeah,
that?
I think I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, and Enrique, we could talk to him a lot about that Perfecto. I know he's very passionate about it.
I just got one. I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, in fact, of all the Emeralds, and I like the Emerald a little better than the Ruby's a very good cigar. I like the Emerald better. I really liked it in that Perfecto.
You like the Ruby better than the Emerald?
No, I like the Emerald better.
You like
but
the
that's
Emerald
not a
better?
knock on the
Okay,
Ruby.
I give the Emerald to Mark Jr. to smoke
Yeah.
to put on the review list. So.
You know, there's nothing. The Ruby's still a very good cigar. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Ruby. I think the Emerald's got a little more body to it, but they're both good cigars.
Ruby.
Ruby.
Sounds like an old girlfriend.
Who we on here, guys?
Back to Coop.
Who's next?
Coop.
Is it back to me?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I smoked the Christoph 685 Woodlawn, which I actually managed to just recently pick up a few of these. So this is Glenn Case had a pretty busy year last year. He released actually 5 blends: the 4 Galerones and the Woodlawn. And the Woodlawn is a limited production run of a Brazilian Cubra wrapper, Nicaraguan binder with Nicaraguan and Dominican Habano filler. It's a 6.5 by 60 Perfecto. It's the only size they did it in. I'll tell you what, this is a nice cigar in terms of what it delivers. I'm not a big fan of Perfectos. You know, it's funny we mentioned because I did like the 1502.
Yeah, right.
but this is a 60 ring gauge Perfecto, and I think it's actually. I still would have rather had this blend in a Parejo, to be honest with you. That was maybe a little smaller ring gauge, but you know, the smaller ring on the Perfecto actually really worked, and it burned real well. The flavors were really good. It had notes of sweet cherry, pepper, wood, which will transition to more of a natural tobacco sweetness. It had this bready component in the background that I liked. So full-bodied smoke, the flavors really weigh on your palate. Strength is medium to full. It's a good cigar by Christoph. I read what Mark Jr. wrote, and he's right on the money on this one as well. There's some dryness on the palate with this one.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely picked, and that some of that bready note was maybe the cause of it, I thought. But it's still worth a $5. It is a $14 cigar, but it's limited. It is something a little different. Glenn did a decent job on that cigar. I think it's definitely worth checking out.
And when it first came in, it was really unbalanced, and Time did it a little bit better. I look at it as an angler, but
yeah, I mean, I was pleasant. I
would
heard
you put
things
it as
about
angler
that,
or
and
fire?
it was better. It was better in my book. I'd smoke it again with no problem.
I would be willing to try it again.
Yeah, we
Based
could
on
do-
your
you know,
assessment, I'd be willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
Again.
What we'll do is we'll wait a month or so, and what I'll do, we'll have to all smoke that together on the show.
Which is that?
It's a
The
good idea.
Woodlawn?
It's
Yeah,
a good idea.
I'll take care of that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Awesome.
What else we been smoking, guys?
I'm smoking. I'm up now.
All right, today or-
Stogie Santa. Yeah, what else you smoked today? I think
Oh,
that
I
was it
smoked
for
too
my
much.
list. I smoked.
I
today.
have one cigar left.
Go
I
ahead.
have one more too,
I've got
yep.
one more too that I want to mention just briefly. But go ahead.
Yeah. So they were preparing. Mr. J's was preparing for their
Oh, yeah. We should
annual
mention
March
that.
Madness sale,
Yeah.
which for you guys who are around is a really good sale. It's another tent sale, for lack of a better term,
Yeah, right.
It's a chance for you to get some things that maybe didn't sell right away for a good price, and if you like them, hey, it's a perfect time to get them. Paul and I got the deal of the century a couple years ago on some.
Pretty much every tent sale we've had, we clean them out of certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this might be one that this is the one that I'm going to be targeting at this tent sale. This is a Viaje Late Harvest 550 Robusto from 2012. 2012, right, Stogie Santa?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this. I've smoked some of these in the past, and I wasn't crazy about them. But this has some age on it, so I've decided to give it another try. And I thought it was a lot better. A lot better. It's a beautiful cigar. It has this, like, reddish, dark reddish, leathery type looking wrapper, and I thought it was, striking looking. It had flavors of chocolate earth, coffee, some roasted nut flavors in it. the construction was very good, and all of that very high priming tobacco that he put in this cigar is aging very gracefully at this point. I would say it's worth a box split, and I will be getting some of these very soon.
Put some aside.
Yeah, please do. I don't think I'll be able to make it down tomorrow. but
Okay.
Make sure.
We'll split that.
Yeah. But
Excellent. Well, that rounds out this segment. We're
no,
gonna
Coop's got one more.
Oh, cool. Oh, Coop's got one more. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Premature segment
So
ending.
yeah, I smoked. I
Premature
picked up the Aging Room Wild Pack.
What's that again, please?
The Aging Wild Pack.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're doing is they have 10 cigars,
Yep.
5 blends, 2 cigars each, and they're kind of selling them in a sampler pack, and they're kind of soliciting consumer feedback on them. Someone, I'm not going to say the retailer, but they had them basically at a steal. So I said, let me get these because I'd like to just smoke
Yeah, I
through
still
them.
got some of those left.
Well, it's over, isn't it?
It's all done. They already picked a blend.
Not quite. Here's what Raphael told me.
Oh, I
They
thought that-
picked a blend from the Wild Pack called the new Quattro. But what they did is they kind of took one of those blends and tweaked it. But they're still having the contest go on, I was told.
Okay.
So, and one of these, as is, the blend, is going to become the next Aging Room. And they'll announce it at some point before the show. So this one was called the T248. They don't tell you much about the blend. If you look at the wrapper, it's probably a Connecticut seed shade-grown wrapper. It comes in a 6x50 Toro size. It's a classic Connecticut seed milder to mild to medium cigar. So it's not gonna it's not gonna be strong. It's not gonna be redefining what a Connecticut cigar is. It's got notes of citrus, cream, little wood and cedar spice. For what it is, if you look at it as a milder to mild to medium cigar in that range, it's fine. I don't know if it's for everybody. I could see it competing with a Macanudo, certainly. It's a decent cigar. I'd go, good morning smoke, great smoke with coffee. I'd go with a 5er. These sampler, I actually have a few more of these I went through, and these aren't really test blends. They're kind of like, I look at them as kind of limited runs that they did of these cigars, and they were all pretty good. I'll talk about more of them in upcoming shows, but they were very good. I was surprised.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Will. I was kind of looking at them as more experimental blends, and the price turned me off a little bit to kind of be able to try all those. I wasn't sure I wanted to put that much investment in them, but now to hear you kind of talk about them, I think that you can't overlook the fun factor of getting
it's
a
like
bunch
Andre's
of
white label project.
Yeah,
it's
there's
kind
a
of
fun
the same
factor.
thing as what they
Yeah.
did. They had these things out there, and they're just
I
they're
think
throwing
that
something
makes
on
it
the wall, I
worth
guess,
it.
to see what they could do. And I was, like I said, I've been impressed with what's in that pack.
Interesting.
And I'm not going to reveal what my choice is yet.
Okay,
But
we'll save that for a future episode.
we'll save that for a future episode. Yeah.
Well, one more that I had that I'm not going to give a rating to, but I had the Davidoff Madison Avenue edition.
I want to hear about this one.
Dude, I had construction issues with it.
Oh, jeez.
And I was totally
Davidoff. Can you?
I was totally expecting that reaction.
Did you
But
smoke
no,
the right end?
Dude, maybe I did. Maybe I smoked it
You
backwards.
called me this morning. I almost started. I laughed so hard when he
Yeah,
told me.
Will and I were talking this morning while I was smoking. I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
yo.
do you believe this?
Dude.
I couldn't believe it. And I tell you what, the flavors I got in the first third were awesome. Awesome.
It is a good flavor. I really like the flavor that cigar produced.
And I can't put a rating on it. And the sad part is I only had one of them, so I gotta look into getting some more of them because
man.
Paul, did you think it had a little more depth and a little more oomph for Davidoff? I thought it had a little more oomph for Davidoff.
yeah. And you know
actually.
what's interesting is I was so excited about it that I lit it up as my first cigar of the day today. Before I even had breakfast, just kind of hoping it was going to be mild, but it really wasn't. It had a little bit more punch than your average Davidoff cigar. So, yeah, I need a redo on that one because you really like that cigar, Will.
I like of the two 25th anniversaries. I like the Madison Avenue better.
Yeah,
It was a box split in my book.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good release.
I got to get more of those. All right, now we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and talk about our listeners' feedback on a contest of box-worthy cigars.
Okay.
Lots of fun, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.